Trump is the people's president, as I know many of you still really basking in the glow of the newly sworn-in president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, and his victorious return. So the Liberty Ball in the same convention center as the Commander-in-Chief event, packed with people so eager to see the new president. And obviously there were so many great songs. They had a lot of 80s songs, I would say. You know, you had Lynyrd Skynyrd, Michael Jackson blasting in the speakers, and then Trump, First Lady Melania looking fabulous. But they arrived to huge applause yesterday. Good morning, Dawn Stensland here. We'll get through all of it. And I was glued last night. I couldn't stop watching. Didn't get much sleep. I'm fired up. We'll talk about shoveling the driveway. I know Dan wants to get to that, whether Larry Bear shoveled.
Yeah. Yeah, how much? Never mind. We'll get to that in a little bit, yeah.
My unglamorous life, but I could live vicariously.
Yeah, don't make me throw Larry under the bus again, but it's going to happen.
And then as well, you know, are they our version of the royal family? I mean, this is a very glamorous American family. So we'll get to all of that. Also, the local angle of, you know, the headlines really nationally and locally of the J6ers and those released from prison. I know that yesterday, Dom Giordano, when we were live from the great Newtown Athletic Center, and thank you to Jim Worthington, the great Jim Worthington, what a patriot, and his beautiful facility. But Dom mentioned right away at, you know, what was it, like 5 to noon at that point, Dan? And Dom Giordano said he was a little surprised so far there was no mention of the J6ers. Of course, all of that changed much later when we learned that, and you'll hear all of this because Trump we now know he wanted to talk about what he calls the J6 hostages. And his advisors said, Mr. President, please, don't talk about that earlier in the day. But he took a great opportunity later in this unprecedented informal news conference as he's signing all of these executive orders quite quickly, I might add, before the parties begin. And he's explaining to the reporters. We'll get to all of that, but I want to bring you the latest on the first two. The first two who we learned were freed among the J6ers, right? 1,500 plus. But the first two J6 prisoners released after Trump pardoned them, as he promised, in day one. And so these are brothers from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, from the Poconos area, Andrew and Matthew Valentine. And they were released from the Central Detention Facility. This is in D.C., just before midnight. And the Trump administration officials announcing this outside the jail. And it was quite a scene, as you had, you know, really a scene of people, family members, knowing this was coming, law enforcement there as they're being released. And so the first 2 hours after President Trump had signed, because I think he was still signing, I think it was like the 9 o'clock hour. It was quite late, unprecedented pardon as we saw this happening. And then the White House liaison to the Justice Department, Paul Ingrassia, was speaking to reporters and calling this a monumental moment in our history. Let's listen in if we can.
Speak loud.
Speak.
Can you say that again?
The first two January 6th defendants have been released.
First two?
This is a few hours after President Trump signed his historic pardon. Andrew Valentine, Matthew Valentine, they've been released
from the Poconos
area. Jail behind us, and we'll be taking them home. So it's a really monumental moment in our history.
Are they leaving tonight?
And they will be leaving tonight from this prison behind me.
Where are they now?
Very soon.
Whoa!
It's a great moment in our history.
Your name, please. What's your name?
My name is Paul Ingrassia. I'm the White House liaison to the Justice Department.
White House liaison.
And we're here with Chris and Justin, also at the White House. Many people within the administration, know about this. Elon Musk knew a lot about this and was the mastermind behind it. So the first two are released.
From Pennsylvania.
Justice is ending in America tonight, and this dark chapter in our country's history is coming to an end.
These reporters are so... Can I just tell you, these reporters are so rude. They're so rude. You have family members there. Capture the whatever happened to capturing the moment? Because guess what, dingbat, your photographer who's up front, there are microphones, and you can hear the audio. They're so rude and they're so apathetic. They don't care. Listen to that. Why don't you shut up? So, what he said was, this injustice is ending in America tonight. This dark chapter in our country's history is coming to an end. That's the key quote from the White House liaison, Ingracia, who introduced himself. And so I know it's loud and you're on a scene, but you're a news reporter. Do your job and trust your photographer who's right there, who's more of a professional and knows that you've got the audio. It's just incredible to me. And to me, it just comes off as apathy. That's what I see here. So Trump let's just go over what happened here. And we'll get to this earlier, but the Justice Department had charged, remember, 1,583 people in connection to what happened on J6. The Valentine brothers were just sentenced recently to 2.5 years in prison each. So this was quite recent that I believe that they were actually sentenced. The brothers are Matthew's the older brother. He's 32. And he pleaded guilty back in September, I believe September of this year. So these were among those individuals who were, and that's what we saw, people who were behind bars for many years, including, I'll get to Zachary Reel in just a second, Zachary Reel, R-E-H-L, here in our area. But Matthew Valentine, he's the 32-year-old. He pleaded guilty last fall to, and I'm quoting here, 2 felony counts of assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers. He faced up to 8 years. He got to a little over 2. Then his younger brother, Andrew, is 27 years old, and he had pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of that same charge. So there's an or there. There's an or within the count, a felony count of assaulting, resisting, or impeding law enforcement. So they both had pleaded guilty. In this case, neither entered the Capitol building on January 6th, but they were both involved in scuffles with law enforcement officers. And that's the quote here, and pleading guilty. And by the way, Elon Musk, we're told, was involved in this. Elon Musk was looking into this and was heavily involved, we're told. If you've heard this, that Elon Musk was involved in this situation, I would love to hear from you, or Dan, if you know of this, because I had never heard that Elon Musk had a very key role, a clutch role in looking into this, what the Trump administration is calling a great injustice. But apparently Elon Musk was critical and key in this unconditional pardoning process. And a piece of this is that that's why Joe Biden, at the very last minute, literally the last seconds of the Biden administration, that's why he was signing, many of these, busy still signing all of these preemptive pardons, etc., not just for family members, but even in the last hours of his presidency, for those involved in, the Trump administration is saying they destroyed tangible evidence that, I'm inferring from the Trump team, believes that these individuals may have been exonerated. Either way you look at it, it is, if you think about a tenet in our government, in our United States, in our government, in our Constitution, you have the right, and this is built into our Constitution, you have the right to defend yourself. You are considered innocent until proven otherwise, right? So what they're saying is that their constitutional rights were violated by the destruction of evidence, and that would, I believe that would mean that the chain of evidence, that we talk about, whether it's a local crime, even in the civil courts, and Trump says this, we'll play it for you later, but this is huge. I don't see this being reported on, but it's a very big deal in any case that you look at. If anybody ever is involved in something civilly or criminally, and anybody committed spoliation of evidence, if they in any way spoiled, if you will, or destroyed evidence, it's a big deal. Okay, that's what the government is accused of, and that's the basis by which Trump is saying sweeping pardons. Now, I believe that there are about a dozen people that they're still reviewing. And so that's what I want to clarify. The vast majority received a blanket pardon. Some you heard Trump say commuted, less than 10. But then I still believe there are a few out there that they're still reviewing. So that's what I'm trying. The Washington Post reported this morning there are some that are still in there, and there's still something going on with them. And I'm still trying to, parse and break through that. Yes, Dan.
If you're one of the people that pepper sprayed a cop, maybe there should be some charges filed against you. Like there are certain aspects of those that stormed the Capitol that day that did indeed break the law. I mean, assaulting officers. So I think those people should be held accountable.
Well, see, this is my question, because here's what's going on. So you have those of us, we are, as far as Republicans and conservatives, we support law enforcement. We're that we side. Generally speaking, we are the party of law and order. And so you remember J.D. Vance, to your point, Dan, had said, well, if somebody out and out, assaulted law enforcement or something of that nature. What I see here is that these individuals who were, and Trump refers to this, I don't know if you have this, Dan. I don't know if we even played this earlier because my head is spinning, but I know that he said it. Basically, what Trump was talking about, and this is pretty late last night, he said that many of these individuals, and I'll take you to, for example, Zachary Reel, who was local. He's local from the Northeast, right? Son of law enforcement officers. He is married with 2 little girls, and his wife, had the baby right when he was, being convicted and jailed, right? So he was never charged or in any way convicted with anything regarding anything violent. And remember, we at some point had video of him that I don't think his attorneys even had at the time of his conviction of the seditious conspiracy type stuff, where he hours later just strolls into the Capitol. He just walks in, and he's clearly not there. There's nobody there. So he's one of those he received a full pardon. That's Zachary Reel.
I do have the moment that he did pardon them when he signed it, but I don't know if it has that clip in there. If you want to hear that audio, here's that. Take a listen.
Mutations in there where we're doing further research.
You hear that?
Nice to see you again.
Further research for a few. You hear him signing.
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way.
So one thing that he says that struck me, and this is something I've always said. Now, number one, here it is. Think about all the civil rights activists, right? The ACLU. When somebody is denied their constitutional rights, whether or not whatever they were accused of, if somebody has destroyed evidence that could either convict you or free you, right? Clear you. If they destroyed evidence, it's done. It's over. And if this were flipped and this were some kind of a civil rights case, no matter how you want to look at it, if that's true, and he stated last night very clearly, they destroyed critical evidence. That's what the allegation is here. And he said he's the president of the United States saying this. I can't imagine that he would say something that strongly and that matter-of-factly. So to your point, Dan, the fact that if they're accused of doing assaulting or pepper spraying or whatever, but at the same time, evidence was destroyed to either convict or clear. The law is very clear on this. If evidence was destroyed, it's a constitutional. Boom, that's it. It's done. It's over. In any case, even if this were like a horrific murder, that's why it's so horrible that anybody, would destroy evidence. That's why Biden had to had to make sure that these people had preemptive powers. The fact that Biden went to the J6 committee and gave them all pardons tells me they were guilty of what Trump is saying. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
That they actually destroyed evidence. That's a huge crime. And nobody's talking about this today. I'm going to say something else. It's really sick to me and third world country to me that not only did they go after all these people, not only did they destroy tangible evidence that may very well have cleared them. That's what it sounds like. But they broke these men. I mean, I'm going to get emotional here. They broke these men. It mattered to them that they made them break down. Many of these people served our country, like Zachary Reel. He served as a United States Marine. Many of these men in law enforcement, they broke these men. These men broke down sobbing in court. They wanted to break them. That is wrong. That is sick. We cannot forget that. We can never forgive that. I don't want this issue to go away. And for those in the media saying, oh, shame on them, J6ers, and maybe, I don't want to hear about it. This is a violation of their constitutional rights. And I don't care what your ethnicity, what your background, what your walk of life, whatever. This is wrong. But it's really sick to me that these individuals, and this is what I'm seeing, that we have officials who broke the law and broke the Constitution and broke these men. And we need it. Look, they may be pardoned. I don't care. I want them outed. I want to know what evidence did they destroy? What was their end game? I want all of their emails released. I want their texts released. I want everything about it fully released and transparent. This was horrible that this happened in our country. Shame. Shame on them. This is awful. And we should never, ever, ever have this happen again. I cannot say this strongly enough to you. But they absolutely deserved to be freed from prison last night. And the fact that, yes, thank you. Game of Thrones, shame.
Shame.
And the fact that in this nation this happened, and it's not a bigger story this morning, and this is the media narrative and the bias by omission, and these men, I hope as they are released, I hope some of them here and their families hear me say, you absolutely deserve your day. Call in if you have been exonerated, and that's what has happened here. We want to hear from you. Call in now. Call in anytime, any day, any moment. Please call in. We want to hear from you because this was wrong, and you did not deserve this to happen to you. I will also say this. I know from United States Marine Zachary Reel locally, they dishonored them and his wife, and she had just had a baby. They took away the medical benefits. They took away everything. And that's wrong. So is that all reinstated? What happens there? I want to know so much more. I want to hear from you. 855-839-1210. This is a great injustice in our nation. And thank to God and thank you, Donald J. Trump, our president. I'm so proud that you are my president, that you are our president. And I'm so proud that you've done right by these men and women. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Your thoughts right around the corner, so much more. Be right back.
You know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun. You know what I mean.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. But what does that really mean for our clients, for you? It means that when you hire us, you don't just get a lawyer, you get a legal army, almost 800 lawyers alone. That army includes an entire legal team, specialist lawyers, investigators, and a 24/7 client satisfaction staff. Just like if you were going into surgery, you wouldn't trust one person to handle the paperwork, the scheduling, the anesthesia, and the surgery. Have you ever seen a surgeon operating alone and without resources? No way. Why would you trust a small firm with your case? Your case is a big deal to us. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
New year, new ride. Start off the new year with Hessert Chevrolet of Cherry Hill, formerly Mall Chevrolet. Get fantastic finance and lease offers on a wide selection of new models. Whether you're looking to lease or finance, we have great deals to help you drive into the new year in style. Hessert Chevy of Cherry Hill offers one of the largest inventories in the area. For over 40 years, the Hessert family has been a trusted part of this community. Together, let's drive. Visit HessertChevyCH.com.
Hessert Chevrolet! For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk about prices. At National Appliance Warehouse, we have billions in buying power that we leverage in order to pass dramatic savings to our customers. We're passionate about offering the lowest price, so we developed Price Assure to ensure we always are. Price Assure uses powerful technology to scan chain store prices online and make sure ours is lower. Because Price Assure is connected to electronic tags throughout the showroom, it's able to update them instantly if an adjustment is needed. Our customers enjoy great service that rivals that of a small independent while shopping with confidence they're seeing the lowest possible price.
Hurry in to the Friends and Family Savings Event at National Appliance Warehouse. Save on GE appliances. Earn up to $3,000 rebate with purchase of select customizable cafe appliance suites. Shop an unmatched collection of GE, Cafe, GE Profile, and Monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
Hey, Percy, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Remember to take us anywhere with the free Odyssey app.
Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that you gave our 45th and now our 47th president a millimeter miracle. We are grateful that you are the one that have called him for such a time as this, that America would begin to dream again. We pray that we would fulfill the true meaning of our creed, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. We pray that you use our president, that we will live in a nation where we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful today that you will use our 47th president so we would sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, we believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous hilltops of California, but God, we're asking you not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill in Mississippi, from every state, every city, every village, and every hamlet. And when we let freedom ring, we will be able to speed up that day where all of your children, black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic, Jew and Gentile, will be able to sing in the meaning of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last. If you believe where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Come on, put your hands together and give your great God great glory.
Let freedom ring.
And then you saw President Donald J. Trump. He was hugging Reverend Lorenzo Sewell. And then there's word that Trump personally had asked Reverend Sewell to please pray during the inauguration. Perhaps this is one of the reasons that you look at the Trump popularity polls, CBS News, CNN polls that show Trump's popularity is hovering right around 60%. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why. He reminded all of us that, yes, the inaugural happened on the celebration by our country, the commemoration of our country, right on the day that we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So up next, I'm so honored, and I thank our great executive producer, Dan Borowski, for setting up Reverend Sewell. He'll be right around the corner here. You'll hear from him some exciting new ventures, the inside story of how the president asked him to please deliver this beautiful prayer. So we'll take that one, and we'll revisit the story I talked about earlier. I know I'm striking some controversy. Thank you for your comments in the YouTube chat. I see you. I hear you. We'll get to all of it. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Hi, it's John Ashell, the car czar from Colonial Hyundai. I'm excited to announce that our new home is complete, and it's built just for you. Built for savings, built for service. Our state-of-the-art dealership is designed to make buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle faster, easier, and better than ever. Right now, it's effortless to buy, trade, or upgrade at Colonial Hyundai. Colonial continues to be recognized for awarding the highest trade-in values in the region. I'll give you $6,500 for your trade, guaranteed, no matter the condition. We have over 200 vehicles in stock. Tucson's, Santa Fe's, Palisades, and Konas. For this month only, drive home a new Hyundai Elantra SEL Sport for just $119 per month. Every new Hyundai comes with 3-year complimentary maintenance and America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, and Hyundai Assurance. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
2025 Elantra SEL Sport. 12,000 miles a year for 24 months. $5,999 down plus first month's payment, tax, motor vehicle fees, and doc fee. In stock vehicles only. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for full details. Offer expires February 3rd, 2025.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
This is Merrill Reese. When it comes to your roof, it's like football. Good planning is essential. That's why I've got a brand new gorgeous roof from Impriano Roofing. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, using only quality, certainteed roofing products. Serving our area for 5 decades, accountability plus. It's good to get a brand new roof from Impriano Roofing. Visit Impriano.com. That's Impriano.com. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
America is the greatest country in the world. And the other thing great countries do is they make sure that they can keep their people warm in the winter and cool in the summer because we have the energy that we need and we're not dependent upon countries that are lesser countries. We should not in the United States of America be dependent upon Venezuela. America is better than Venezuela. We should all be able to say that. We're better than Venezuela. We're better than China. We shouldn't be dependent on China. We're better than Russia. For the longest time, the left wouldn't let you say this. I'm proud to say America's better than China.
Rich Zeoli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Did you know I have 4 sons? And to me, making sure that they know I earned a living honestly and ethically is paramount to who I am. This means if one of my technicians has a part or even an entire system needs to be replaced, it's because it's true and not because that technician has to hit some end-of-the-week quota. If my business practices aren't honest, how can I expect my boys to be? As Crosby, Stills, and Nash would say, teach your children well. Visit us at marvinekanze.com.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
So Carrie Underwood, obviously a superstar in America, pop star, country star. She was supposed to sing yesterday with, remember this, with an entire choir. And there was a technical glitch. Something went wrong. And if you noticed, there was about a 2-minute delay as they realized that there was a problem there. And so then you hear her say, basically, no, we've got this, sing along with me. And she just goes into it and sings a cappella. Listen in. Great moment.
If you know the words, help me out here. Oh.
At the start of the video there, you see, I got this. I'm just going to sing it, is what she says. And then you hear her say, I need a little help here into the microphone.
If you know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Huge applause, great moment where and obviously she's a live performer and fabulous, but the fact that she was supposed to have background and a choir behind her and that sort of thing, and the fact that she just kind of wings it and does a beautiful job, knocks it out of the park in that wonderful patriotic moment. I thought it was a beautiful moment. We were at the Newtown Athletic Center, and at the time, some of you, some of my friends, you were waving to me and trying to tell me something. I realized, unfortunately, I didn't realize it at the moment you were trying to, finally I got it. I said, oh, Carrie Underwood singing. So thank you for the heads up on that. It was just, and that's the thing with live moments like that when we.
Is there a sing-along back at the NAC, too, where people singing it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a great moment and just a wonderful patriotic moment, I think. So we had such a blast with it. I know some of you are.
Our pastor's not here, Dawn. I don't know what's going on.
So you just spoke with him. So
yeah,
we're awaiting the Reverend Sewell. Some of you, I know, were upset with me. Some of you supported what I said earlier. Some of you on the YouTube chat were saying that you're not pleased with me, that I was supporting those, all of those pardons that happened. I'll just point out to you that in our judicial system, when you think about people who are denied their constitutional rights, that's just a slam dunk. If in any case, even if it's a case where the guilt or innocence with somebody, that's no longer the issue. The fact that we had this committee, this J6 committee, and we heard rumblings and rumors of this before. Apparently now it's confirmed, it's out there, that they destroyed evidence. They actually destroyed evidence. I don't know how that's not a bigger story, but it explains a lot as to why the J6 committee and others received these preemptive pardons. That was also something that was really that's unprecedented in our nation's history. And we saw this last minute flurry, but it explains why there was this blanket pardoning. You did hear Trump say that there are cases. I'm hearing between 6 and 14. I apologize. I don't have that nailed down for you. I'm hearing between 6 and 14 are still being looked upon. And perhaps, to the point of some of you on the YouTube chat, perhaps the issue here is that there was evidence that was profound evidence that they did something and then they confessed to it, etc., where they don't feel comfortable with a pardon or a commutation. So that's what I'm seeing. I know that at some point yesterday, I believe it was when he was sitting at the Resolute desk, Peter Doocy was, I would say, one of those dominant voices, although there were other media from across the board who were there just shouting out questions or saying questions to the president. But at one point, he talked about the fact that there are individuals in this country that are involved in assaulting people, even murdering people, and they're convicted of different various degrees of manslaughter and murder, and they get less prison time than the J6ers have already served. So I did hear him say that, and that's a consideration. So you think about individuals, because remember, many of them have been in prison for 4 years as of right now. Think about locally, and I could name some of the cases if you wanted, but think about locally individuals who have been convicted of murdering somebody, stabbing, shooting somebody, and they received less than 4 years, or even in some, the Schellenberger case, remember? The young man, his last name is White. Remember this, Dan? Oh my goodness. The young man who was convicted of stabbing in the back, Michael Schellenberger, and he, as I recall, received no jail time. That was a local story, remember? Rittenhouse Square.
Michael White and Sean Schellinger, yeah.
Sean, thank you.
Yeah.
Sean, because we had interviewed Sean's parents at the time, and Sean's mom locally had started really a support group for other murder victims in the city. But that was one that was controversial, if you remember it. But in that case, the young man who stabbed Sean in the back, killing him, never went to jail. Never was sentenced to prison, remember? So that's the kind of thing that Trump was referring to, where you do have cases where even somebody is murdering somebody and they're not spending time in jail. And none of these individuals were charged or convicted with murder or even second-degree murder or anything close to that. And I think that's why. Now, for those of you on the YouTube chat, do we have him? Okay. For those of you in the YouTube chat, I'll go to your calls, 855-839-1210. But for those of you in the YouTube chat, you were watching the coverage and you were mortified by it. Okay. Yes, I would agree. It was, It was shocking, the whole thing. But I'm just going to say to you, there's a difference between being shocked by something going on. I was shocked and horrified by what was going on here in Philadelphia. What was it, $1 billion in business destroyed, burned? 14 or more cops injured here in Philadelphia? How many people here in Philadelphia went to jail? How many spent 4 years in prison for the destruction of property and all the injuries? How many? Tell me. Zero. In fact, the vast majority, about 1,000, received a full exoneration, never even went through the system by the city of Philadelphia. Was it all horrible? Yeah, it was a bad day, a bad look. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Tom is in Westchester. Hey, Tom.
Hey, good morning, Dawn. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for calling.
Good. You're welcome. Happy New Year. I just was listening to you a little, as I'm driving along, and I actually know a guy that lost his job with Boeing because I don't know exactly what he did, but he was in attendance at the rally, and I believe, got like 3 months in jail and 3 or 9 months probation, and lost his job at Boeing in Ridley because he was in attendance at the rally. So I just thought was, I'm not sure what he did or, what you have on film or whatever, tape.
And so he went there, he went to jail for a couple months, and then he ended up getting out. But do you know if it, as far as, because I know of people who they not only lost their jobs, if they were in the military, this was another weaponization piece of this. They lost medical benefits, they lost income, there were divorces. It was, their lives, their lives were and are to this day devastated. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. Yes. He was really, I believe, I'm not sure how he got the day off to go, or, he just didn't show up for work. But, when I found out that he lost his job because he was in attendance there, I was like, wow,
Yeah. And that's just it, as far as, and some of you thank you. I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much. And if you are someone or you know someone who is one of the J6ers who is now free, I would love to hear from you. I've been trying to get a hold of, Zachary Reel, his wife, his family, his in-laws, trying to get a hold of, any of them. I'd love to hear. Shelley's I know Shelley on the YouTube chat, you're very disappointed in me. But I will just say this, and Manglemush is saying the J6 hostages have lost jobs, homes, and their livelihoods. That's true. And so Michael Daly says that I'm right, etc. But Bryn Mawr Builders, you're saying I was disgusted by the riots too, Dawn, but two wrongs don't make a right. And my point to you and to Shelley is that if only that evidence had not been destroyed. In other words, why would you destroy tangible evidence? Because if there is evidence that would either convict or exonerate, first of all, why would they destroy evidence that would convict people? So that leads me to believe the story that in fact they were purposely. This is the allegation. This is what they're reporting, and this is what the President of the United States reported to a group of media in his office. So either he's a liar and he's completely making this up, which I don't know if that's a crime or not, but that should be outed if he's completely. Why would he lie on his first? Why would he say like, oh, this is happening? So there are too many people saying that this is what happened, that evidence in criminal cases was destroyed on purpose, and it denied these individuals to use that in the course of a trial. Now, maybe they still would have been convicted. See, the problem is once they destroy evidence, once that spoliation has happened, once that custody chain of evidence once all that is broken, then it's all broken. It's done. It's a constitutional violation. And to my knowledge, from every trial I've ever covered in my life, it's over. It's done. because the bigger picture here is that when you have that level of destruction of evidence, then you cannot have your right, your constitutional guarantee of being able to go to be tried and to have a fair trial. Do you know what I'm saying? And so we should be horrified at that violation. We all were denied then this justice. We were denied the truth. And we should be horrified by that. And we should try to understand why. Why would they destroy evidence? What evidence was destroyed? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the bigger picture. Shelley, to your point, yes, destroying evidence is criminal. What evidence was destroyed? Are there witnesses to it? We need to find this information out. We need to be able to know. And so that's my point. Do you see what I'm saying? But I agree with, ironically, I agree with everything you're saying. And these individuals deserved a day in court, and they deserve to be able to have attorneys and defense attorneys and fight and go to court and have all of this transparent. They were denied all of that, and thus we, the people, we're denied all of this. So I'll continue to take your calls, 855-839-1210. Hopefully we get our great Reverend and hear from him and his inspirational story. You know, my friends at, you see behind me, Piazza Premium Autos, Piazza Premium Automobiles, they do stand out when I talk about them. They feature the very latest. These are luxury vehicles. This is a point in your life where you've earned it. You've worked hard for it. Now go get it with a little help from my friends at Piazza. And I'm talking about Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. And yes, these models, they have such sleek new designs, innovative features that are powered by the very latest in technology. And they have thousands of these new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles. They're available right now across their Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles, they do stand out, and you can visit them. Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Join us for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event to witness documentation and learn how you can earn double-digit interest returns like many of our Crash Proof clients with none of the pitfalls of investing on the market.
Roseanne Fitzgerald, Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. With Crash Proof, we earn 20% interest, which is credited. What we've earned can never be taken away.
Marilyn Becker's, Malvern, Pennsylvania. The 13% and 20% returns we received this year gets added to the principal. There's no fees, and you can sleep at night. You can't get that on Wall Street.
Paul Wirtz. I'm from Philadelphia. I earned 24% this year. No matter what happens in the future this year or next year, I know that my principal is protected, my retirement is secure.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn, January 22nd, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Thank you for being here at Dawn Stensland on X. By the way, we have a lot of news this morning. We'll go through all the Trump stuff. Yesterday, the inaugural balls. Let me know if you watched, what you thought. My dear friend Rich Cioli was on with Dana Perino. They love him at Fox, and Dana especially is a good friend to him. I don't know what we have time for, Dan, if we want to just tease the fact that, Susie loves, Jeffy just put out, just watched the clip of Cioli on Fox. And he was with Dana.
Let's do it this way though, because I want to stick on our previous topic.
Okay.
J6 was really good, and we got Dwayne in Valley Forge, who's actually calling in to defend you right now.
Okay.
You want to take Dwayne real quick?
Sure. Hey, Dwayne.
Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
I got a little emotional when I heard you because I think that everyone needs to take a deep breath and let the history of this event be sorted out, because there's a tremendous amount of false flag evidence here that needs to be looked at, and they destroyed that evidence for a reason. And the night of January 6th, this is an anecdotal story, but this is personal to me. I was watching videos of Antifa marching, and then the next morning, when I went to access those videos, they were no longer available. So there's just an awful lot of things that don't add up here. And they destroy that evidence for a reason. And you're right, that's the way our system works.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I thank you for that, Dwayne. And you're right that we are just, I think, at the tip of the iceberg as far as learning all about the evidence and what they do know, and then can they release anything? In other words, can they? Because even though, let's just take aside the point that all of the J6 committee people, they've been pardoned. I wish the fact that they're pardoned, that somebody would still come forth and just tell what happened, or that we could know what happened. I still want to know that information, because I never ever want to see this happen again. And look, I covered the trial. You know that. We had locally Mark Houck, and was right in here in Philadelphia at the Federal Building. And if you listen to Mark's story, and it's consistent to me because from day one, before it even was making national news, it was a local story. So here's a dad. He's charged. They surround the house with all these TAC team people. They arrest him in front of his wife and kids. There's an intimidation factor. They shackle him to a desk. Do you remember the whole story? And so at the end of the day, the intimidation level was such, and he tells the story and told it the same story from day one, that they fully expected, because they said, hey, you can make all of this go away. Just plead out to a misdemeanor. And he said he prayed about it, and even prayed about it with his wife, and said absolutely not. But that they wanted him. They offered him every opportunity to just say, all you have to do is just plead out to a misdemeanor. This all goes away and you go back to your family, this and that. And he said, nope. And so they were surprised that this went to trial. And then even the federal judge at the federal courthouse was basically saying to the prosecutors in court, according to all the different witnesses that I've talked to, that at some of them I interviewed, saying, really, this is all you've got? And he was exonerated by a jury. That's what happened. And so there was this level of like persecution. Whoever's doing that, it shouldn't be political, but it sure feels like it. And that's what I would say about all of this. That none of us, no matter who you are, no matter whether you're a Republican, Democrat, whoever you are, we never want the government to do this third world country nonsense where they are trying to destroy political enemies, political supporters. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that violates our Constitution. And look at how we are even divided among this, because we know that officers, I mean, the one lady, remember the one woman officer, she suffered concussions. I believe her. And it was horrible to watch. It was shocking to watch. But if those individuals were denied their constitutional right because of evidence being destroyed, then what the heck was the motive here? What was the end game of the J6 committee? Why would they destroy evidence if, in fact, that tangible evidence in all those videos would have proved these people guilty? Do you see what I'm saying? That was wrong. And you can't, if you deny people due process, the bottom line here is the case gets thrown out. And that's horrible. So those J6 committee people, even if they can never spend a day in prison, I still want the public to know what really happened. We need to know what happened. We need every piece of video, all of it that wasn't destroyed. We need all of it to be made transparent. So that's my 2 cents.
Tough day for Senator McCormick, Dawn.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm going to take y'all down live to Washington. Well, just post live a little bit here. As Elise Stefanik is facing her Senate Foreign Relations Committee as she hopes to become the UN ambassador nominee, and our new senator from Pennsylvania. Line of questioning coming up now, and man, Dawn, it sounds like he's going through it. Take a listen.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Coons.
Thank you, Senator McCormick.
Congresswoman, it's good to see you again. My wife, Dean, and I have known you for, I think, more than 20 years, so I'm thrilled
he's been sick.
that President nominated you for this important role. Forgive my voice. I think I've been celebrating making America great again a little too much. As we discussed when we met in my office, I'm deeply troubled by the virulent anti-Semitism and anti-Israel bias at the United Nations. And since Hamas's brutal massacre on October 7th, the Jewish community in Pennsylvania and across our country has seen an explosion in hate.
Continues on with that, and obviously very close to his heart. It has been through the entire campaign, Dawn, and we'll get more into that next hour. But your comments?
Yes, well, we'll get into it next hour. But I love I'm glad he's not sick. I love the fact that he, I don't know. We need to send him some good lemon and ginseng tea to help cure that voice. I'll be honest. My voice this morning I was really struggling. I was struggling a little bit.
Oh yeah, what's your secret?
The tea. A little tea, little honey, little lemon, ginseng, and a little.
Now, was your voice struggling because of yesterday's great event at the NAC, or because your husband made you shovel the entire driveway?
Well, Michael and David helped. Michael and David, the three of us were out there.
Thank you, Michael and David.
So if you've been shoveling, I know it's a little slipping and sliding out there. Do we have to take a quick break?
Yes, we do.
So we'll be right back.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriati, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
An amazing day yesterday, and now it's day 2 as we think about President Donald J. Trump. Whew, it feels good to say that, not President-elect. But President Donald J. Trump, among all of these, there's really a slew of executive orders. Day 1, there's local reaction. I know Philadelphia City Council is holding a special hearing on how to deal with the executive orders pertaining to all of the immigration type, presidential executive orders that he had repealed dozens of former President Joe Biden's actions. And we're seeing a crackdown on illegal immigrants. And number one, those illegal immigrants who are here and are criminals, are either accused criminals here or in their home country, etc. And so we have all of that going on. Trump's comments about TikTok, and he pardoned, obviously, the 1,500 plus of the individuals in the J6 rally that turned into the riots. So let's get to it.
I do have the audio of him signing the executive order regarding immigration if you want to get to that.
Yes.
We have Zioli over on Fox News, or we have McCormick questioning Stefanik.
Let's stick with him signing. Let's just go to Trump signing.
Right now.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
So here he's signing.
Mr. President, what makes you confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends. Okay.
Sir, this is an executive order realigning.
So can you just stop it? Can you just pause it there? We'll get to Zioli because I want to profile the great Rich Zioli. I'm with Dana Perino. I know some of you might have heard it or saw it. You saw it, but I will get to it momentarily. But this is Trump. Understand, and he's telling the camera person to move. Is that correct, Dan? He's telling the camera person to move.
Yeah. Media
now,
member.
here's you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because you never want to be This is a TV thing. If somebody was to my side, it's never a flattering look. If you're to somebody's side, unless you're like really stick thin, so it's not a flattering look. So he becomes the producer. He is somebody who loves production. He loves television. He loves these moments. He basks in these moments. Everybody else in their life is exhausted by now, right? This is like, was this 9? I'm trying to remember. Was this 9 o'clock? This was late. This was, he had a long day. The guy never tires. But the reason he's telling the photographer to move is because it's never a flattering angle. And so he becomes now the producer. He's producing the moment. And quite frankly, the people he has like if I'm there and I'm working for Trump, I'm saying, excuse me, I'm telling them move over here because I'm telling them move over there because I know the flattering places and the best lighting. Trump fully knows that, and his people didn't. Shame on you. But he has to be the producer. So he's putting on the show. He's signing these. It was a moment where I guess some of the media members wanted to come in and witness him signing. So we've never seen this before, ever, in our nation's history. Trust me, you've never seen a news conference quite like this. He's riffing. He's signing. He has his guy who's announcing each of these executive orders. Each and every one of them is newsmaking. But remember when Biden, quite frankly, signed all those executive orders. I mean, Trump is reversing really radical, crazy stuff that Biden put into law. We didn't talk about it as much, which I now realize, I regret that because we should have, but we didn't. You know why? In part because they did it in the darkness. They didn't provide any transparency. They never let us in to question or see him signing them and an opportunity in real time to explain, why did you sign this? Why did you sign that? So some of these were symbolic. I mean, Trump, signing to make the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, that one cracks. That was a funnier one. And so he was, saying that we should control the Panama Canal, talking about TikTok. He went into really going through, we'll get to all of that. But remember, he also talks about the economy, talks about drill, baby, drill. And I know that the left, as far as climate and environmental people, they're not happy with him, that he's saying that even they could drill in some of these protected lands in Alaska, for example. And so you're hearing that today.
Hey, can I make a detour real quick? I don't
Detour.
Mean to, a quick detour while we're talking pardons to a degree.
Dan detour.
One of the big things that you heard develop yesterday were a bunch of pardons made by President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And on the line, we got a call from a former FBI guy, FBI agent Charles Warner, Bud Warner, who was, I don't know, I think he might have been involved in bringing down the Chicken Man. I don't know if that's true or not, but something involved with the South Philly mob he was very instrumental in bringing down, has a lot to say about the pardons that Biden made yesterday. A guy with a very hefty background here. Bud, how you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
What do you got to say about the pardons, sir?
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Bud.
Well, first of all, yeah, I was involved in the Scarfo case when I was still active. I spent 33 years in the Bureau. But in 1975, two FBI agents out in South Dakota, Ron Williams and I can't, his name just escaped me. Ronald Williams and Jack Coulter were assigned to make an arrest on an Indian reservation in Pine Ridge. They were attacked, and Leonard Pelletier, was armed with a semi-automatic rifle. These two agents had pistols, 6-shot 38 pistols. They ran out of ammunition, and Pelletier was convicted of not just killing them, executing them. He went down to the vehicle where they were they were both wounded. He went up and he shot them both in the head. He was convicted, and Biden has just commuted his sentence. I'm livid. I am so livid at what this guy did now, letting this piece of trash out of jail. He should have been executed. And I just thought, when you're talking about pardons, I'd like you to know that those agents, they were only 24 and 25 years old at the time. Both had families, and this guy now is going to walk free. I'm just livid over this thing.
Why would Joe Biden, in a case that goes back to the 70s, how does that happen, Bud? How is it that, and I thank you, and I'm so sorry for this, because that's painful for you, painful for the family members of these young men who you're saying were executed. Why? Why in the world on this list of, in Biden, what was it, more than 1,000? It was a historic number of pardons. Why would they go back to this case of all cases?
Well, it's come up in the past where he was treated as some sort of a celeb. That he was railroaded in this conviction, that he wasn't guilty of this crime. And over the years, the FBI, my term in the Bureau, agents went out and protested any attempt to release this guy. And so he was on the radar of these liberals, and I'm sure that his name got to Biden, and he pardoned him. I can't believe this guy is walking free for what he did. After he was sentenced, he escaped from federal prison. It was on the run for several months until he was captured. And when he was captured, he was carrying a Mini 14 submachine gun, or a Mini 14 automatic rifle. And so he says, I didn't do it. Well, when he was captured the first time, he had one of the agent's guns on his person when he was caught in Canada. So, there's no question this guy did what he was convicted of, and now he's walking free. And you say, why did Biden do it? Because the woke people in this world got to him and his administration, and he pardoned them. I was listening to the pardons. J6, I'm fine with it. Even Biden pardoning his criminal son and his family and all these other people who's never been charged with anything, he's given them pardons in case they get charged. But this one really, really sets me off. I'm an 80-year-old guy now, and I'm retired, but this really irritates me to no end.
I'm so sorry, Bud. That's awful. And the fact that these were young men in their 20s, they were assigned. So they're assigned to go. They're on a job, and they were gunned down.
Yeah, but they just weren't shot to death. They were executed. I would really stress the fact that they were both wounded in this gun battle. They only had 6 shots each. And Pelletier's armed with a semi-automatic rifle, and other members of the Indian movement that attacked them. And they weren't looking for Pelletier. They were looking for a gentleman. There was a federal warrant for another American Indian on another charge, and they went into the reservation, which we were allowed to do under federal law. And they went there looking for this guy, and they were attacked. They were ambushed, and then not just killed. They were executed. He purposely went down and shot them both in the head while they were leaning against the vehicle, and they were both wounded. And I can't believe this guy is going to walk free. So I thought I'd like to call and say, I just wanted you aware of the evilness of this guy Biden, that what he did. And the FBI has written to him and other presidents saying, please do not pardon this guy. We stand against it. And in fact, Christopher Wray sent Biden a letter recently before he resigned saying, please do not pardon this guy. I'm giving you the facts of the case. Don't let this guy go. And he did. So,
thank you, Bud. Thank you for calling, and thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Really appreciate you. Thank you for taking that call, Dan. Really appreciate it. It just shows you, no matter what, when you think about even in the YouTube chat, your phone calls, when a president does a pardon or commutes a sentence, there's an impact. There's an impact on the greater society, but there's also an impact that's personal for these law enforcement officers like Bud you just heard, who served honorably in his career, but as well for the family members who lost, they lost their loved ones that day who served. And that's why this is emotional. All of this, it gets emotional. And I think the conversation is a good thing. We should be having these conversations. We should question every one of these, and we should have full transparency as to, how they arrived at this. So can we go to Zioli now, or do we have to take a break?
We can do Zioli, yeah.
Can we? So Rich Zioli, who yesterday I was talking about this. He's really been struggling. He had that surgery. He's been on antibiotics. He had a bone surgery. So I know that he had I don't think he drove himself, but he had somebody drive him, and because I think he was in person with Dana Perino.
Yeah, live in the studio.
So we have it?
Yeah, we have it. First up, he was asked, or he was talking with Caroline, is also another person that was sitting on the panel with him. She was giving her sense on the decision by Trump to say that there are only 2 genders, male and female, and he picks it up from there, from today, Rich Zioli.
He wants to bring about a common sense revolution, and what could be more common sense than a simple declaration that sex and gender are indistinguishable, and there's only 2 of them. Male and female.
So from this woman to this man, what you think, Rich?
What are you, a biologist? Listen, here's the thing. This was the key swing issue in the suburbs. I really believe this. It pushed people. The left went way too far. The pendulum had shifted too far to the left on this issue, and people just said enough. And they were afraid to speak out on it. But the minute that it affected their kids, right, with sports and with locker rooms and with everything else, that's when suburban moms and dads and urban mom and dads said enough is enough. And when they kept playing that ad during football games of Kamala Harris saying she would pay for transgender surgery for inmates, I was like, enough is enough. People watching this in the city said, hell no. So the left had gone too far. The pendulum just swung wildly. Trump is so smart to say this.
Yeah, so Rich is exactly right. We've talked about this. Remember when Riley Gaines was at that great event in Montgomery County and in Bucks County? Remember, I was honored to host the event with Paula Scanlon, who was on fairly recently. This was one of those issues where, because parents and kids, everybody was being bullied. And if you, God forbid, talked about protecting girls and women in sports, locker rooms, bathrooms, then you were mean. You were, whatever, fill in the word. You were racist, or you were ist, you were ugly, you're a hater, you want to ban somebody in the LGBTQ+. That's not what this was about. For ordinary people, this issue was really simple, that you had girls and young women who were forced to not only play, and especially in the sports, even like volleyball, like we've talked about, where they were injured, but as well to be in a locker room or a bathroom where, especially a locker room, they're changing. And that's just not cool. So people stopped speaking out about it. They stopped. They didn't want to be bullied or judged or whatever. But I believe this drove many people to vote the way that they did. And I know people who switched sides. They had voted Democrat before. They voted on this issue. And so Rich is 100% correct.
Let's take a quick break. We got to make a quick phone call, me and you, Dawn, during the break. And we'll be back.
Be right back.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Stop buying gold online. Edelman's Coins is the Philadelphia area's largest buyer and seller of gold and silver bullion. Family owned for 99 years, Edelman's Coins has continued to provide ultra-competitive pricing paired with unparalleled customer service. With transparent buy-sell spreads, you know you will always get a fair deal. When buying or selling bullion or coins, think Edelman's Coins. Call 215-572-6480 or visit edelmanscoins.com.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
Hi, I'm Mike Veneria Jr. with Prosperity Private Wealth. Financial planning can be overwhelming regardless of market conditions. I specialize in retirement and legacy planning and tax minimization strategies. Protect your family and future generations without sacrificing our shared principles of hard work and American independence. Take control of your financial future. Call me, Mike Veneria Jr. at 856-252-0107.
Securities through Sanctuary Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, advisory services through Sanctuary Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks, this is not a drill, it's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, free today, free, thanks to the one and only Donald J. Trump. President Trump had signed all of those pardons, and we've been talking about that. But the only one really that I've covered, as you know, from day one, every piece of information, talking to court reporters and getting the latest on then defendant Zachary Reel, who, as I've told you, is a husband, is a daddy, is a United States Marine who served our nation and then went on to become a Temple grad, and now, thankfully, is a free man as one of those pardoned J6ers. So Zachary Reel joining me now. Congratulations on your freedom today, Zach.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. It's been a long road for sure, but it was very, very satisfying getting out last night. It was late, but it happened. So just trying to get my bearings and catch up with life right now. So
yeah,
thanks for having me on as well. So
yeah, I mean, I've talked about this, that you were held. You're originally from the Northeast here in Philadelphia, but you were arrested. You've pretty much been incarcerated, if you will, even before your conviction. Nearly 4 years, right?
Yes, they basically raided my house on March 17th, 2021, and they denied my bail numerous times. After that, I mean, I sat in FDC, Federal Detention Center in Philly, for a good year and a half, and like I said, our lawyers would fight. I was like, hey, he didn't do anything violent. He should be allowed out on bail and this and that. And just deny after deny. And it was something weird about this case from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just like the whole travesty of justice here, to be denied bail up on a level with so many other kind of criminals in prisons and everything like that. People typically get denied bail because they're murderers or this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like they were denying me and also my co-defendants of bail, and it was just like, well, what did they do? I was like, oh, they went to the Capitol that day. And it was just like, some
Mm-hmm.
stuff happened that day, but what did they do? Oh, well, I mean, they're with the Proud Boys or this or that. Or I was just like, okay, and
yeah,
but we just kept getting denied bail over and over and over again without any legitimate reason why, and it was really frustrating and really rough on me and my family and everything like that. But
and you're the son of law enforcement. Your family, your in-laws have supported you. Who was there to pick you up last night, and when did they find out? When did your family find out?
Well, we were in touch with some folks who were working indirectly and directly with the Trump administration after he won, and we were getting some information that President Trump was actually going to come through on his promise to pardon everybody on day one. And as the time got closer and closer, we were starting to get better intel that he was really going to do it. So where I was down in FCC Petersburg, Virginia, so it was about 6 hours from Philadelphia, and my wife came down, and two of my friends and one of my daughters came, and they were pretty much waiting there since 12 o'clock p.m., and I didn't get out until about 1 a.m. the next day. But we knew that President Trump was going to come through with it. So it was a long anticipation, some little bit of anxiety because obviously he didn't sign the pardons until like 8:30 or something along those lines.
Yes.
But he ended up doing it, and the prison just took a little while to process this all out. Process me specifically out too, and it was good. It was well worth the wait, essentially.
Well, for you, for your wife, for your family, what? I mean, I don't want to invade your personal stuff here, but just
horrific.
That moment, yeah. And Dan Borowski.
I hate to say, but the entire family has been ravaged by this politicization of this crap. It's terrible. I'm sorry to interject.
Yeah,
it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I understand.
Zach.
Oh yeah,
the emotion.
My wife and daughters were ecstatic. I mean, it was great. I mean, I couldn't have pictured any other way. I mean, I haven't seen my oldest daughter for 4 years. I've seen her briefly at my sentencing. I wasn't allowed to be anywhere near her. That's the only time I've seen her in 4 years. My wife, she couldn't get her hands off me. She was so happy, And, I mean, it was the first time I was actually able to just give her a real hug, and it was nice. It was really nice. It's hard to put into words,
For your family, I mean, were you guys? Because obviously you've missed a lot of Christmases and birthdays. Do you have a celebration planned or something like that where you can sort of celebrate, make up for lost time?
Absolutely. We're gonna make up the recent Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. We're definitely gonna have a delayed Thanksgiving, have some family over and everything. And my wife's collected some gifts over the years for me, and she's we're gonna open some gifts up and stuff like that. But we're definitely gonna be having like a welcome home party at some point with some friends, some close friends and family and everything. And a lot of those folks are looking forward to that. A lot of people are excited I'm out. Thank you.
Now, for you, Zach, I just, I know that at some point there were, because you're a United States Marine, so medical benefits and things like that, will all of those get reinstated? Or because your family suffered, you lost your job, your family, your wife and girls obviously suffered financially from this. So how does that all work?
Oh, well, that's a good question. There's a lot of things going on with that right now. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but at one point, because of the seditious conspiracy charge, they cut my benefits off completely, like I never served.
Yes.
And then they tried suing my wife for the benefits that I received while I was in prison. So they actually added a ton of interest on, and they ended up trying to sue her for about $90,000 or something along those lines. And
as she was, she has your two daughters and just had the baby, and they're suing her, and dragging her through court.
Benefits that I earned in the military. I was honorably separated from the military, and to have that happen, it was just a complete kick in the gut. But as far as whether that will be restored, that's still kind of up in the air right now, because I didn't get pardoned. The people who were convicted of the seditious conspiracy were given the commuted sentences, and President Trump did say last night that he was probably going to be upgrading that to a full pardon soon.
Okay.
I don't know how soon that is. I'm hoping that's very soon. But,
so you were one that was commuted.
I was commuted, yes.
Okay.
And like I said, the commuting doesn't give me my benefits back. So I still would have to overturn the conviction on appeal, or hope I get an upgrade with the president to a pardon, and which I am confident he's going to do. I just don't know when.
So Zachary,
Right.
I've covered, and everybody's listening knows, I've covered your case, and when you were sentenced in September of 2023 to 15 years behind bars, obviously your daughters at that point, would be grown, and you would miss all these years. I mean, first of all, what do you say to President Trump, as well as all of those who've had your back throughout all this time, who have fought for your freedom, but for this moment in your life to now get back to your life and be a hands-on dad, as I've heard by all accounts that you are, to be with your wife?
Yeah, so the conviction was definitely devastating. It's definitely not what I ever imagined. I never even thought I would have spent a weekend in jail for, what my role was down there that day. But 15 years, it was crazy, and it was, like I said, devastating on my family. The first holiday season after the sentence was handed down was pretty rough. It's just this long, daunting task. It's like you're trying to think of the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's so dim at that point. And President Trump's chances of winning at that point didn't seem good according to the media. So it was like a daunting vision. But I actually still wrote to President Trump at the time and encouraged him to keep running and keep fighting, and let him know I still had his back at the time. And as far as all the supporters, I mean, if it wasn't for the supporters, all the letters I've received, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of letters, and outpour of support from people the whole time I was in. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who listened and understood that this was much bigger than January 6th. It was a witch hunt, and they wanted to get to Trump. They wanted to get to President Trump. They didn't want him to win, so they made January 6th much bigger than it really was, and a lot of people seen right through it, and a lot of those people were reaching out to me and keeping my spirits high. And if it wasn't for them, my time probably would have been a little harder. But the fact that I had so much support and everything, that really helped. So definitely thank you to everybody who had my back.
Are you grateful to President Trump for signing that pardon yesterday and the commutations?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I mean, like I said, he mentioned he's probably going to upgrade it to the pardon, but it was so relieving to just get out of there. I mean, the federal system is so broken, and it's so bad being in federal prison. It's hard to put into words. I mean, you all hear more about it in the future as more of us J6ers get out and tell our stories about everything and actually get to sit down and go over it. And, to finally just be with my family again and be able to start getting back to my life and really living under Trump's America, President Trump's America again. It's exciting. It really is. I mean, it's been a hard 4 years under Joe Biden, just with the economy and everything. I felt it even in prison, so all the prices were skyrocketing on us in there at the commissary. And, it was just, it was rough for everybody. And it's a chapter that's closed now, and we're in a whole new chapter to begin with now. And it's really exciting to see what happens from here on out.
And Zachary, part of the thing that the President Trump was saying yesterday was that the evidence, a large amount of tangible evidence in all of these cases, was purposely destroyed. And that was something that he came out and said, and there are other reports to that effect, and that explains why it was important to former President Biden, to go ahead and sort of do that preemptive situation with the J6 committee, all of that. I mean, you've indicated this, that you were a political pawn. Do you have reaction to any of that, or just your experience? Was there any moment where you prayed, or where you just, became a different person or a changed person as you were going through what many have called and what President Trump has called an actual political persecution?
Yeah, I mean, he was spot on with all those comments about that. I mean, there's a lot of things just in our trial, for example, that we weren't even allowed to even bring up.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of this. I mean, we want to talk about the FBI informants that were, embedded in the crowds and that were inciting violence and everything. That's a whole nother ball game that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface on. And I'm hoping with Kash Patel, head of the FBI, that we're going to be able to really expose that and start seeing what really went on with that. But I don't know, like I said, some things were deleted, destroyed. So we'll see how much things were destroyed at the FBI level as well. But it's certainly not over in that respect to see where that goes. And I'm really looking forward to that part. What was your second part of that question? I'm sorry.
I think you answered it, but was there, well, I'll ask you this, the second part was really about, because I remember covering the day that you were sentenced. And even the judge had said that he took mercy on you and kind of took some heat from the prosecutor. The prosecutors wanted to put you away for 30 plus years or something. And even the judge,
30 life.
oh my God.
Yep.
So, I think about that and that day and reading the transcripts. And as I said in the beginning at 10 o'clock, the reason that I think we can't let go of this issue is there was another piece to this. Not only do I feel that it was a political persecution, they were really after Trump, obviously, but there was another piece of that, and it was that they wanted to break all of you. And that's reminiscent of, you know what I mean? When you look at history and I look at history and I see third world countries, they want to basically break people's spirit. And I know that you broke down in the court that day, but when you stand here today, and thank you for talking to us and for thanking, there's so many people right now listening whose hearts are warmed by hearing your voice and your journey, and your wife and your daughters were reunited. But are you a broken man after this?
That's an excellent question. No, I'm definitely not a broken man. It was, like I said, it was a rough journey and everything, but I think the whole experience made me stronger. I should have never been in prison in the first place, and time will prove that further now that President Trump's working towards exposing a lot of the things that happened involving January 6th and everything. But I took the opportunity while I was in to really learn a lot about myself and try and better myself while I was in there. A lot of people don't do that when they get arrested. Some of them just maybe fall down worse paths and whatnot. But I did a lot of reading, a lot of exercising, and it's made my body and mind right. And I'm looking forward to hitting the ground running myself and taking on the next chapter, whatever that may be. And I'm excited to do so. But they definitely were trying to break us. I do want to say that their goal was to basically try and get us to break so we would testify against President Trump in his trial. But nobody did that. And we all stood strong and firm. We were innocent of what we were, accused of. And we stood our ground on that. And we took a lot of lumps in the process over it. And President Trump rewarded us when he stepped in office. And that's why he pardoned everybody on day one, because, he followed a lot of these cases. He specifically followed our case. And he knew we were not guilty of what we were convicted of. So that's also why I'm confident he will be upgrading ours in the near future. So
I know you want to get back to your family, and it's been you were just freed from that Petersburg, Virginia, 1:00 this morning. So Zachary Reel, thank you so much. I hope we can keep in touch. Thank you, Zachary. God bless you.
Have a nice day. God bless.
You too. Dan Borowski, great job getting in touch with him. I think it's great to hear from him. And your thoughts, 855-839-1210.
Cool. So I know, you're not going to explore something like this in the interview, but I did want to put it out there. So how this worked out is you wanted to speak with Zach, and we were able to find his information, reached out. And when we got in touch with Zach, we explained, Dawn's been talking about your case, and he responded with the affirmative instantly and says, "Oh, I know. I was listening while in the federal detention center in Pennsylvania." So it's really cool that it's come full circle, that a guy that you spoke so much of, he's listened to you speak of him while sitting in a jail because he was a political prisoner, now coming on to talk about his freedom. It's nice. It's a great thing, one day after inauguration.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I just want transparency in all of this. And I feel that in this case, no matter, and look, as a trained journalist, went to journalism school, I've covered, I don't even know how to say how many trials. and gone in prisons, interviewed different people who were, convicted of things. I'm just a big believer in our system of justice. And this to me was just such an obvious situation where, especially for Zachary Reel, he had obviously served honorably as a United States Marine. Family man, had zero criminal record, had never been, nothing in his background. Lily white background. So first of all, he wasn't like a third-time offender, or something of that nature. It wasn't like that. It just made no sense. And so I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his wife and his little girls as well. I know we have to take a break. Get your thoughts. 855-839-1210. We'll be right back.
Weather is sponsored by Meineke. When you step on your brakes, do you hear a squeal or a grinding noise? Don't wait. Take your car to your locally owned and operated Meineke, and their expert technicians will diagnose the problem. Find a location near you at Meineke.com.
The core of the coldest air has settled in across the Delaware Valley. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy, high around 20, but feeling colder with the wind. Tonight, very cold once again, becoming partly cloudy, low 10 for the city, single digits in the suburbs, and continued cold on Wednesday, becoming mostly sunny with a high 22.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Philadelphia has issued a code blue until further notice. Today's the coldest day in our region in over 2 years. Legendary Philly jazz DJ Bob Perkins has died at the age of 91. And Eagles tickets are now on sale for Sunday's conference championship game against Washington.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Hear that?
That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Score the winning touchdown at Borgata during the Big Screen Blitz. Earn entries for your chance to be one of the lucky winners to get an 85-inch Samsung Smart TV, valued at $1,100. Drawings every Saturday, now through January 25th. Score big during the Big Screen Blitz. Only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212. Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Leaves raked. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There are so many great choices. Is it the delicious Crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake, so choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, except no substitutes.
Hey, Paoli, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
So thank you to Zachary Reel, Lair Bear, my better half. He texted in, and thank you, Dan Borowski,
Your
for
better
getting
half.
that. My better half,
A
Lair
better
Bear.
half. A better half would.
He said, "Great interview,
Oh,
great job."
Sorry, I keep teasing this all show, but
Yes.
the better half would get out there and help you. You know, shovel the front driveway. Better half. He is the better. No, he isn't.
We
You know, I'm digging myself a hole here that I can't dig out of. So you know what? I'm gonna backtrack.
So we've been talking about so much with big day yesterday, today, national. You know, they were at the cathedral. The Trumps were the new president, newly inaugurated president, vice president. I know they were in church, so it's they were at the cathedral there for services, and there's just so much news, and this is the new reality for us because I think we will see all these fast-moving developments going on. So, did you want to play one more Zioli on with Dana?
Well, before we go there, we got Robert in Ventnor City.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, Robert. He
right.
wants to talk about
Hey,
the January
Robert.
6th prisoners.
Hey, what a great interview with Zach. Thanks for highlighting that. So I did a little research on Zach. During his trial, he has repeatedly denied assaulting officers as he was confronted with video of him spraying law enforcement officers with chemicals. Sounds like a real peaceful guy. And by the way, he's a prominent person in the Proud Boys. You failed to mention that. You're pretty despicable.
Oh.
Well, thank you for that.
Personal insults your way.
No, here's the thing with people like Robert. I have mentioned a gazillion times, and I've absolutely reported that he was a local Proud Boy president. I absolutely have reported that. And the other piece of it, as you like to name call and then hang up, as if, oh, good for you. Go in your BVDs and jump around the house and take your victory lap. You're a legend in your living room. Good for you. I will say this. The issue of it is that in court at the last minute, as I have reported, if you listen, and I know the vast majority of you are loyal listeners, I have reported everything that happened, every detail. I printed out I have read hundreds and hundreds of pages of these court records over the past 4 years, okay? And I absolutely reported that toward the end of his trial, they presented video where it was not clear video, and you can look it up because I have it. I've put it out on social media, and they put it in the court, although they never charged him. He was never charged, nor was he ever convicted, nor was he ever able to, his defense attorneys argued, were they presented with this so-called evidence so that they could then defend him on it. So they aired it in the court for everybody to see and claimed that he was involved in an area where there was, whether they said that there was like some kind of pepper spray or something, but that was never a charge. So if you are in a court of law and you are charged with something, that's a very different story. So he was never charged with that. My question to you is, well, if they have evidence, alleged video evidence of somebody doing something violent against, and by the way, any of you know me, I am a huge supporter of law enforcement. You know this. I'd like to know what Mr. Fancy Pants, who called Mr. Despicable, as he called me, how many fundraisers have you been to where you were supporting the widows? By the way, hi, Stephanie, saw you yesterday. We were the widows of law enforcement murdered in the line of duty, because I do this routinely for my entire adult life. So there is zero evidence that the young man who I just interviewed, zero evidence, zero charges, zero conviction of him doing anything violent. Zero. And this is somebody who fought for our country, served our country honorably as a United States Marine. Those are the facts of the case. That's the tangible evidence I know in a case that I have studied. And so this mudslinging and blurry video, this is the kind of thing that would any of us wish to be, convicted in a public court of law? I don't think so. And if those prosecutors had that tangible evidence, don't you think they would have charged? Don't you think they would have gotten a conviction? No, none of the above. Zero. So that's the truth. But for those of you who listen regularly, what?
Despicable Dawn.
Despicable Me. Yes. But see, here's where, cowardly people will listen. And he didn't stay on the line, because I would have loved if he had stayed on the line. I would like to know more. But see, he calls, he pretends he's going to be one thing. He calls, he lies, and then he wants to name call and hang up. And so look it up yourself. All of this is public information. And by the way, all of my coverage of this court is the only court case involving the J6ers that I have ever covered. I'm not worried. I'm not really concerned with the non-local individuals. He's our one local guy. And I have covered his case extensively. I have read every scrap and covered every scrap of his court case. I can tell you he was never accused. He was never charged. He was never convicted of anything remotely close to committing any violence against anybody, let alone law enforcement. That just never happened. So I'm just reporting to you the truth, as you know that I have.
Somebody pour me a drink.
And yesterday, after we were on the air for 7 hours and get home and say, boys, we got a shovel. Everything was pretty freezing. Went out there, shoveled a big old driveway. I got my workout.
So paint the picture for me. What time is this that you finally get home from?
I don't know.
If you hung around into the Dom show, you were still sitting there. So you got home, what, 2:30ish, 3?
Yeah, I was on it. So got home, realized the sun is going to set, and this, because the sun kind of melts things, and we had shoveled already.
Yeah.
We go out there, and we're like with the metal shovels, just trying to chip away that ice.
So was Larry home?
Yes.
He was home?
He was home.
And he didn't come out and help you shovel?
He did not.
Oh, come on.
He has to get his nap.
So do you.
I don't take a nap.
You were up
I don't
since
need
4
a nap.
a.m.
I'm fired up. I'm fired up, my friend.
Larry,
I have more energy.
Come on.
Seriously.
What you should have done, you should have done half the driveway and then left the rest for Larry when he woke up.
I wouldn't do that.
Well,
that's all right.
Giordano, do you snow shovel for Roe, or do you make her go out and do it?
No, I shovel. That's
Okay.
one
You
thing she
do?
doesn't do. Yeah.
It's a good workout.
Oh, yeah, it's not bad. No,
Michael and
not at
David
all.
helped me. It was fine.
Okay. Well, there's at least that.
I don't want Larry to get blisters on his hands. His beautiful, well manicured hands. He's listening right now.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
Come
Dom,
on,
what a
Larry.
day!
Yeah, great day yesterday, John. Thank you. Everything was spectacular, and we have to do it again soon.
I said this morning, Dom, that Jim Worthington, you had mentioned. I quoted you this morning. Jim didn't get to bring his family or his wife anything, but then they were saying, Jeff Bezos, why does he get to bring his wife in her inappropriate bra
Yeah,
dress?
he's the biggest fundraiser. He's the most committed Trump person I've seen that's actually tangibly done it more than these other guys. He's not suspect at all. Oh, he was inside, one of only 600 though.
Wow.
On the diet.
Only one ticket though.
Yeah, there were no spouses.
Couldn't conjure up
other
one for
than
Don
the
Giordano?
Exception for you got to be a trillionaire, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Dave McCormick coming up, and he wants to make Pennsylvania the crypto capital of the world. That's at 12:30.
Did you hear his voice in the Stefanik hearing?
No, I did not.
He's not sick, but I guess he was cheering too much.
Oh, pineapple
So-
juice will be recommended. The doctor's in. I will make
As you know,
that
this is
right.
not theoretical for me and for
Okay.
Dina. We live in Squirrel Hill.
Pineapple juice right there. I'm serious.
Warm it up a little. Great
Yep.
Dom show. I can't wait to
Thanks,
hear them.
Don.
I hope he gets the pineapple juice before the